Hello guys, today I'm interviewing Junnior Fa. He has had 20 fights, 19 wins, 1 defeat. 10 of his wins comes by way of knockout. And he's got a big fight this weekend on the George Cambosis Devon Haney undercard against Lucas Big Daddy Brown.
Yeah.
Is it for a title, if I'm right in saying?
Yeah, it's for the WBA. I think it's a WBA Oceania title, I believe.
Yeah. Is he from New Zealand as well?
No, so Big Daddy Lucas Brown is from Australia, which is where I'm at right now. So yeah, I'll be expecting to see him around here sometime soon.
Wait, are you not even in America yet?
No. So the fight's going to be here in Australia. So
Is it?
So So I flew in from New Zealand a couple of days ago.
Oh yes, it's in the Marvel Stadium.
Exactly. Yep. Yes. There it is.
Sorry. Yes. Wait. So is it in his hometown?
I don't think this is his hometown. I think I think he lives somewhere else in Australia, but it's basically in his home country. So yeah, so he's got the crowd advantage, I think.
Yeah. I watched your fight last year against Joseph Parker.
Yes.
Was that your toughest fight so far?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I learned a lot from that fight. Joseph Parker, he's a great professional fighter. He's been around the block. He's fought the best in the world. And so putting up my skills against him was a great opportunity for me. I learned a lot from that fight. I felt like I'd done a lot of things right, but there was a few things that I'd done wrong. Where I done wrong, I felt like he outworked me a lot of the rounds. And I feel like that's what gave him the edge, and that's what gave him the win in the end. And in terms of skill, I felt like I was okay in terms of skill. He just outworked me a lot more. So so that was the big taking point from that fight. And
so do you admit that that you lost the fight?
Yeah, for myself, yes. Yeah. I do feel. I mean, I see where I lost the fight. There were some arguments that, like, if they scored it on clean punches actually landed, I felt like I outpointed him on that mark, but I felt like he threw a lot more. And even though they landed partially on the body, partially on the shoulder, slightly missed, it still looked like he won because he threw a lot more than what I did. So that part, I saw that, I saw that that's what the referees would have saw, and that's what gave him.
Yeah. I thought he won, but I thought if you got going, mate, it could have been a different story.
Definitely. So, like I said before, that was the big taking point from that fight was for me just to work more. Even if my punches aren't going to land cleanly the way I wanted to, just throw more punches. Yeah.
I loved seeing you, your post-fight after the fight, your interview in the ring.
Yes.
Shouted at a lot of people, mate.
Yeah. Was it the one where I can't really remember what? So you're gonna have to jump on what it was. Yes. I was talking about my son and my ring walk, and the reason why I chose that song. So I chose "Don't Worry, Be Happy" because it's my son's favorite song, and it'd be cool for him to watch his dad fight because he's got autism, so he doesn't really pay attention to too much that doesn't have his interest in. So for me, putting on his song, it kind of gives him more of a chance to watch me. So that was the big reason why I done that.
Was he there?
No. There were thoughts on bringing him and my other child as well. So I have 2 young ones. I got a son and a daughter, but they're a bit too young. I don't want to bring them into that type of environment. Plus, it's very late, so we just left them back with the grandparents, and they took care of them.
Did they watch the fight on like TV or something?
Yeah, they did actually. I thought they were going to go sleep, but they were awake for the whole fight. So yeah, so that part was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was because it was only like 10 a.m. over here, so I watched it.
Oh, great, good.
Me and my brother, I think we messaged you saying good luck before the fight.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah.
We did, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did. I think you did reply. Yeah, you did reply to us.
Yeah. I tried to reply as much as I can, especially before the fight. But I do get bombarded with a lot of messages. But I do try my best to, message back. So yeah, thanks, mate.
Yeah. Going into this fight, you're against Lucas Brown on a massive card. Are you co-main event? Are you, mate?
No, so I'm not co-main event, but I'm the fight before the co-main event. So co-main event.
Yeah.
So that'll be good, me and
because I've got to watch your fight, mate.
Yeah, man. So I will be towards the end.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure what time it'll be over there though.
Yeah.
Shucks, it'll be. I think in terms of your time, it'll probably be early morning, like early morning, because I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like around midday here, which is in around. Really? Yeah. So just because.
I was expecting it to be on about 10 a.m. again.
Yeah. Oh, nah. So the guys here wanna make it so it's prime time in America. So that's in about 5 hours from now. I'll probably be fighting on Sunday. In about 5 hours from now. Not too sure what time that'll be there.
Oh, because it's 10 o'clock in the evening over here now.
Yeah.
What's the time over there, mate?
It's 7 o'clock in the morning here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're up early?
Yeah.
Do you normally wake up about 7-ish?
I usually wake up at 7 o'clock at home, so that's 2 hours earlier from now. So this morning I've been up since like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
5 o'clock. Yeah. But it doesn't mind me too much because I'll be fighting slightly early anyway over here. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Has camp been good training?
Camp's been very good, for the past couple year or so. Our training camp at my gym at City Kickboxing has really, really changed because now as fighters, we don't feel overtrained, and that's a big thing for athletes, is to make sure that they come into fight week and they come into the fight feeling like they really, really want to get out there and feel well rested. In the past, I've come into fights feeling overtrained, feeling a bit under, but for the past 2 fights, I've been feeling really, really great. So in terms of training camp, I think that we nailed it. I trained enough. I'm feeling good. I feel like I'm in peak condition.
Yeah.
Now we fight Lucas Brown.
Yeah. Have you ever watched Lucas Brown fight before? Because I have.
Yeah. Not live, but yes, I've seen him fight a few times.
Against Dillian White.
Oh, Dillian White put on a spectacular performance against Lucas Brown.
He did.
He methodically broke him down. He jabbed him. He outworked him, and just eventually knocked him out when he wanted to. So that was a great performance by Dillian White.
Yeah, I love how you're. I know you after the defeat you didn't fight the rest of the year, but I love that you're in a big fight straight off your defeat. You're not taking no easy fight back. You're going straight back into a tough fight, which I love about that.
Yeah. I mean, I really wanted to get back in a lot sooner. It's just the whole COVID thing really slowed down boxing on my side of the world. So, things are a bit hard to keep going. A a lot of promoters weren't really showing much of the smaller fighters.
Yeah.
But now that COVID is kind of passing through, borders are opening up again. It's not so strict anymore. So shows are going ahead, and man, it's just good to be back. And you are right. Like I do feel very blessed to be able to have a comeback fight with this type of name and on this type of card. You know, I feel very blessed to be fighting Lucas Brown on a Kambosos Haney undercard. So very blessed. I'm going to grab the opportunity with both hands and make sure I score the win in a great way.
Yeah, mate. Did you watch his 2 fights last year? Because he got beat by Paul Gallen, and then he beat Fag Oplu, or I can't pronounce his name. Did you watch them?
Yes, I watched them. The Paul Gallen fight, I thought that was quite unlucky for him. You know, it was quite unlucky. He got caught. So when it comes to a fight like that, you can't really take too much away. You know, you can't. There's not too much to see because he just got caught. But the other fight where he fought Vainga Opelu, he outboxed in large amounts of that fight. And that's a big thing that I took away from that, was to have confidence that I am going to outbox him. Don't tire out like how he did, because the other guy got tired and then Lucas Brown eventually landed and knocked him out. I've got to make sure that doesn't happen. And so I plan. So I plan to outbox him. I plan to hurt him. And when he falls, he falls.
Yeah.
That's it.
So you've both got lots of knockouts on. You've got 10 knockouts. You've got 23. So is this fight ending in a knockout for you, mate?
100%, mate. 100%. This fight is not going the distance. I'm not planning for it. It's not likely that he's planning for it too. So someone's getting knocked out.
And it won't be you, my friend.
No way it's not gonna be me, man. I gotta tell you. And no way it's gonna be me, man. But it's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
When Lucas has lost 3, and all 3 of those defeats are by knockout. Well, stoppage,
You're right, yeah. You're right, yeah. That's right. Dave Allen, right? He got him with a great body shot. That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the potential of the fight getting stopped is quite high for myself, because he has been stopped.
Him, because he's got the 23 knockouts out of his 26.
Yeah, very, very big hitter, very, very big hitter. So yeah, it's gonna be a good fight while it lasts.
Yeah, before you catch him.
My man.
Do you think Kambosos will win as well?
That's a very, very interesting fight. That's a very, very interesting fight. It depends. It depends on what the first 3 or 4 rounds say. We believe that if he comes to fight, not to box, I feel like he can win. I feel like he can take the win, because if he comes to fight, if he keeps Devin Haney on the back foot, if he keeps Devin Haney pressured, and with smart, good pressure, I feel like he can take the win. Because it'll be Kambosos coming forward all night, and I feel like he can win that way. If he can't get that respect in the first four rounds, if Devin Haney gets in his groove, if Devin Haney gets in his rhythm, and he starts to pot shot and let his hands go in a very, very smart way, and he starts to get on the counters, it's going to be a hard night for Kambosos. So Kambosos can win. I feel it just depends on that first 4 rounds. He needs to make a statement.
Yeah. So when you fought Parker, was the crowd split in the middle because you were both from New Zealand?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. I think you know, he had a lot of his fans there, and a lot of New Zealanders know him anyway, and so there was a lot of Team Parker there, but also I had a lot of fans there too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, there was a time when the crowd was just chanting my name, and then there was a time where the crowd was chanting his name. It was yeah, shucks, it was a back and forth in terms of the crowd, but man, it was a good night. It was a great event. Yeah.
Because when I think it was, I turned in quite early because I think I watched all of the undercard because I think Joseph Parker's brother was on it as well.
Yes.
The one before you, what a knockout! Like
Hemi Ahio, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Hemi Ahio versus Julius Long. Hemi Ahio is actually going to be fighting this weekend too.
Is he?
Yeah. So that's actually my teammate. So he's upstairs right now, but yeah. So yeah, man, that was a great fight. He's actually got a very, very tough opponent. His opponent changed last minute because the American that he was supposed to fight couldn't get into the country. And so they got this Australian guy. I forgot what his name is, but he's a very, very tough opponent. And it's going to be a very, very good fight to watch because the both of them are around the same height, and they have around the same style. So that type of yeah. So for that kind of fight, stylistically, it's going to be a great fight to watch. So I'm looking forward to watching that fight.
Yeah, I think the guy's only 5 wins, 4 defeats, 2 draws, but it should be a good matchup.
Yeah. Like in terms of the record, he doesn't have a fast record, but when you watch him fight, oh man, great fight. He's only lost to like good guys, and they've all been good fights. So this is going to be another great fight.
Yeah, when the Tongan national anthem was playing, the camera went on to you, and I saw you, mate, in there.
Yeah,
you look very confident.
Yeah.
Had a nice smile on your face as well, big smile on your face.
Yeah, in terms of that, you know, when you get to that kind of level, or like, you know, when you're put in such a pressured environment like that, it can either make or break you. And I kind of sense that going into the fight, in terms of the lead up. And so I've done a lot of work mentally for that part of the fight, you know, because when the fight's going, it's not so bad, but before the fight, oh man, all the nerves kick in, and sometimes you don't know what to do. So, yeah, always, you know, always nervous before a fight, always nervous, but that's a great sign because it just shows that you're human, it shows that you care, and so going into the fight, like weeks ahead, I've done a lot of preparation with my breathing. I've got a breathing coach that kind of helps me with that, with the whole pressured environment, learning how to breathe under pressured environments so that your body can calm down. So I've done a lot of work with Dave Wood. He is my breathing coach, and I've done a lot of work with Dave Neath, who is my mental performance coach. So I've done a lot of work up here first, and that's why I kind of look calm coming into the fight. I just kind of knocked the nerves out of the way, and I felt good.
I forgot my question. When are you walking out second against Lucas Brown, or are you walking out first?
I have no idea, but I think I am walking out first because it's his title, so he should be coming out. I wouldn't call me the underdog, but he is the title holder.
Oh, so he's the champ at the minute.
Yeah. So with his last fight, yeah, pretty much. So it makes sense that I would walk out first.
Yeah. Are you walking out to the same song you did against Parker?
Tell you what, I have no idea. And you just reminded me, because I need to submit what song I'm going to walk out to. So I don't know what I'm walking out to.
What day do you need to submit when you're ring walk song?
Today. Yeah. Today. So yeah,
Good
so
that
it
I
has to be
reminded you.
handed in by today.
Yeah.
Sorry?
It's good that I reminded you.
100%. Thank you so much, Sam.
When you beat Lucas Brown, mate, there'll be lots of options on the table for you.
Yes.
The amount of respect, mate, that you're not fighting no journeyman, you're straight back in there with the big boys. That's what we like, mate. Entertain the fans.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all fighters want to get put in with the big names. This is why we train so hard. We don't want to train so hard for a journeyman, so to speak. So
yeah.
Once again, being put in this position, I don't take it lightly, and I'm going to perform that night.
Yeah. Are you confident?
100%. Always confident. Training's been great. My sparring's been great. Everything I've done up to this point has been great. So I'm feeling confident.
Have you been sparring with Ohio?
All the time. We've been sparring for a long time. Yeah. So
is he in, like, have you seen him around the hotel?
So we actually come from the same gym. We've been training together for years. We've been training together since he started boxing, I believe. I remember when he first came into the gym, he had like this like bushy long hair. And to see him now, and he and I are flying around together all around the world, fighting around the same shows. We have the same coach and stuff. So so we flew here together on Monday, I believe.
Yeah.
Right now he's up. Oh wait, no. Right now he's actually downstairs having breakfast, and I didn't feel like breakfast, so I didn't go with him. But so he's here. We have training in about. We have training in a few hours. So.
Really.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do in the training? Like pads or punch bag?
Pads. Yeah, pads. So they got a little gym here in this hotel. There's just a little space, which is all we need. We got a coach coming in, and he's just gonna hold pads for us. Just basically short and sharp, nothing too long. Short and sharp. We just do like a quick 5 rounds on the pads, and then that's it. And
then are you not doing? Is this your last training session for the fight, or no more before the big day?
Nah, so there's no more hard training sessions. Like in terms of like my normal training, like I really wouldn't call this a training because it's so quick, But this is basically what we do on fight week. We just do more sharp training sessions. And our last one will probably be on Friday. Friday will be our last one.
Before the weigh-in?
No, so our weigh-in will be on the Saturday. So we'll train on a Friday. No. So the fight night here will be on a Sunday.
Oh, it's really confusing because I'm in England.
Yeah. It's so confusing because we've matched everything to show on prime time in America. So like around 12 p.m. midday here would be prime time back in Australia. I mean, back in the US. So that's how they've timed everything here. So the fight for us will be on.
I'll find a way to watch it, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, hopefully.
I will. I think it probably be early Saturday or early Sunday morning. I think we'll see.
Yeah,
early Saturday because I think you're a day ahead.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to bed in a minute.
Oh, it'll be. Nah, it might be like in the middle of the night Sunday, like kind of early Sunday morning. Early Sunday morning. It'll be around there.
Oh, cheers, mate.
Yeah.
And how did you get into the sport of boxing?
I got into the sport from my dad. So my dad used to box back in Tonga. When I was growing up, he definitely wasn't boxing, but he was training downstairs in our garage. And so as a kid, that's what I saw growing up, and that's what I wanted to do as well. And so when I turned 16, that's when he took me to to the first gym that I went to. And that's when it all started, and I loved it from there.
So when did you have your first pro fight? What age?
That was in 2016 was my first pro fight. And I was 26. Yeah, my first pro.
So did you have many amateur fights?
In terms of numbers, not really, but I was in the amateur system for a while. So I had around maybe close to 40 fights in the amateurs. Yeah.
Did you win most of them?
I think I lost I lost close to 10. You know?
Oh, so you were a decent amateur then?
Yeah. So back in the amateurs, I think my best accomplishment was bronze at the Commonwealth Games. Bronze at the 2010 Commonwealth Games.
That's very good, mate. And my final question for you is, do you have any advice for people who want to be a boxer when they're older?
It's just the same thing, you know. There is no secret sauce, there's no secret gym, there's no secret technique. It's just hard work. Work hard, train hard, and the luck and the right people and the right gym and all the right things that come with a successful boxer. All of that will come to you when you train hard and you show your talent and your skill. So the only thing is just to train hard. That's about it.
And do you want to shout out like your trainer or your sponsors?
Yeah, sure. I'll shout out to my gym. It's a very, very famous gym, but I'll shout them out anyway. So City Kickboxing, that is where I come from. Not sure if you know, but we have a lot of UFC fighters in our gyms.
Which UFC fighters?
Israel Adesanya. So
he trains in your gym?
Yeah, so we've been training together for a while. So we have him. We have Alex Volkanovski. You know Alex Volkanovski?
He's the champion, isn't he?
Yep. Yeah, that's another champion.
They're two of my favorite UFC fighters, mate.
He's and both of them are great. So yes,
so do you watch their UFC fights as well?
All the time. Yeah. It was cool. So I was actually there at the Israel Adesanya versus Calvin Gastelum fight. So that was Izzy's hardest fight. I was there for that one. That one was crazy. It was such a back and forth fight, and like in terms of fights, that was his best one to watch. Like in terms of like grit and heart and blood and guts, like that was the best fight of his to watch, because every other fight with Israel Adesanya, he just schools everyone. You know, he's in terms of skill. Yeah. Man, it's the same thing like that. Like, you know, it's like, you know, he's just so good, and he just shows his level on every single fight. But on that Calvin Gastelum fight, that was the fight that tested him, and I was there for that one, and I was so grateful that I was there. But City Kickboxing, they have a lot of stars there. So those are the two champions from there. But like, you know, we have all the UFC fighters from New Zealand training in that gym too. So great gym. Shout out to the coaches. My coach Doug Viney, Eugene Berriman, who was their coach, and my coach. He is going to be coming here too. Shout out to my team. Shout out to my promoter Lou DeBella. And thank you so much for this interview. Yeah,
I just want to say, absolutely smash it this weekend, mate. You can do this. Anthony, let's go, Junior. You can do it.
My man, thank you.
Thank you for your time, yeah?
No problem. Thank you so much.
Bye, mate.